Good morning and welcome back to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World, where every word matters. I'm Denys Kolesnyk. French prosecutors have requested a 5-year ban and jail time for Marine Le Pen over allegations of embezzling European Parliament funds through a fake job scheme. Now, with Le Pen denying the charges, this trial has major implications for her political future and the far-right Rassemblement National party. Now, to discuss the legal and political fallout and more, I'm joined by Denys Kolesnyk, French political consultant and analyst.
Hello.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us here, Denis, this morning.
Hello.
All right. So French prosecutors here are seeking to ban Marine Le Pen from holding public office for 5 years, right, and impose a jail sentence in connection with this fake jobs scandal. Now, Denys, how solid is this evidence against her? What could this mean for her political career and the future of her party and overall its influence on actual French politics?
So I would like to stress at the very beginning that it's not about actually fake jobs, as it was with François Fillon in 2017, but it's rather about of misuse of the European Union Parliament assistants positions, which means that when a parliamentary assistant works at the European Union Parliament, he has no right actually to do other job, for example, for the political party inside in France. And that's what the prosecutors incriminate to Marine Le Pen, is that she, let's say, used those funds spent for the activities at the European Union for the activity of the party. So it's not 100% fake jobs issue, but rather a détournement, as we say, it's a misuse of funds. Having said this, for obvious reasons, 5 years ban from taking the public office would exclude Marine Le Pen from the presidential campaign of 2027. And we also have to remember that this affair is not only about Marine Le Pen, but about 24 other members of her party, and including, if I'm not mistaken, the vice president of the party, which means that different persons would suffer if this ban on the public office is kept and if the prosecutor wins at the court.
Denys, with the Rassemblement National gaining significant support, though, in recent EU elections, how do you think the outcome of this trial could impact the party's standing among voters, especially ahead of the 2027 elections?
Let's say even if Marine Le Pen is condemned, altogether with 24 other deputies, there is still Jordan Bardella, who has quite good chances, and we know that his rating was growing steadily. If I'm not mistaken, last figures I remember are 36% of public support. It's more than our President Emmanuel Macron, who has roughly 25% of support. In other words, I guess the core electorate of Marine Le Pen's Rassemblement National will see this as a lack of justice or injustice, and it may even trigger for bigger support or more proactivity within the members of the party and supporters of the party. At the same time, this may also, if the condemnation is pronounced by the court, it will mean that the party will. I cannot say that the party will be destroyed, because it's not true. But Marine Le Pen's party will face some significant hardships, because it will significantly derail the functionality of this party due to the different members affected.
Denys, let me shift gears here a little bit now. France has been vocal in its support for Ukraine, including providing, of course, significant financial and military aid. However, what we're currently witnessing are domestic pressures like the ongoing agricultural protests, really clearly showing French citizens discontent, if you may, over policies like the Mercosur agreement. Many farmers view it as a threat to their livelihoods. Right now, how might these domestic challenges actually impact President Macron's ability to maintain further support for Ukraine, particularly as the European Commission is pushing to finalize this Mercosur deal by the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken?
Let's say that the miscontent was measured in last August, And according to some polls, 51% of the respondents actually were discontent with the policies of President Emmanuel Macron. So it's not only about Ukraine or whatever issue, it's a general trend. And because there is the more and more financial hardships of the French population, the level of life and prosperity is declining. And also it is, for whatever reasons, I mean, we can even talk about COVID, we can talk about different, the Russo-Ukrainian war, for example, and another, even the bad management within the country. But at the same time, for obvious reasons, Ukraine, maybe for the last year, dropped out of the main topic in France. It's no longer a main topic. Mm-hmm. It is a war somewhere fought, and everybody wants this war to be ended. And there are some hopes from certain political figures and certain part of population that Donald Trump may help to end this war. But definitely, it's not the number one preoccupation for the French for the French citizen. At the same time, as for the country's policy, the issue of Ukraine war is important. And that is why France, no matter what, continues to support Ukraine. And we will be sending Mirage 2005 to Ukraine at the beginning of the next year.
Right. Well, let me just get into that right now. That was my next question to you. Now, we know that President Joe Biden's administration is going to allow Ukraine to use those U.S.-provided weapons to strike deep into Russian territory. Now, three sources familiar, of course, with the matter said in a significant change, of course, to Washington policy. Now, with France already supplying missiles earlier this year, is France also considering additional long-range missile support to Kyiv?
There were a pledge, if I'm not mistaken, last week or maybe 10 days ago for additional Scalp missiles, cruise missiles, but there is nothing that I'm aware of additional weapons on this list. At the same time, we will continue, France will continue the support to Ukraine. It is obvious, and there is an agreement signed between Ukraine and France, the so-called, how did they frame it in Ukraine, the defense pact, but it's not a defense pact, it's a mutual assistance, actually French assistance to Ukraine pact, let's say, that foresees 3 billion euros to be allocated during next years to Ukraine's defense capabilities, and it foresees also the delivery of not only Scalp missiles but the aircraft, as I have already mentioned, and other equipment like VAPs, and the training of the Ukrainian brigades. And the Ukrainian brigade undergone training here in France, and the training went well, and the brigade was created, the Anti-Kyiv Brigade.
Denys, just a final question here. Let me ask you this. I mean, I know that you said that Ukraine is no longer like a first priority in France and French politics, but military aid to Ukraine, of course, has sparked quite the debate across the European Union. How is the issue being discussed in France, though, particularly in light of its economic and political challenges that it's facing at home?
As for today, I have no information about cutting the aid to Ukraine. I know that currently in the budget there are some expenditures that were cut, but it concerns the help to the Ukrainian refugees, at least from what I know. But I'm not sure because the budget is not yet adopted, you know. So it's a discussion, but the project of the budget doesn't have these expenditures included. As for the military help, I don't have any information that would go against what has already been signed between France and Ukraine, or what has already been pledged by the President Emmanuel Macron.
Thank you so much, Denys Kolesnyk, French political consultant and analyst, for being with us here this morning on World Talks.
Thank you, Diana.
And that's all for this edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm Diana Skaya. Thanks for watching.